Hey everyone, it's Christopher, Mono County Library Director and co-host of the Oxygen Starved podcast, and I'm back with a fresh Book Talk Friday, 2 great library books for you to check out. This week I've chosen 2 memoirs about 2 different men, but largely written by the same man, if that makes sense. We'll in a second. The newest for this week is Spare by Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. Just came out, of course. This is causing all sorts of stir, and it's a global bestseller. The library has a print copy, and you can get an ebook copy. Now, I will admit I'm not a big follower of the Harry and Meghan saga, but curiosity killed the cat, so I picked it up, largely driven by a New York Times profile, which I'll get to in a minute. The title, of course, refers to the phrase, the heir and the spare, and when Prince Harry was born, he was the spare to Prince William, the heir to the throne, and it's a role he's had to deal with his entire life. This memoir, of course, is Harry's attempt to tell his own story from his own internal perspective. Even so, a lot of it has been hashed out in the media already, and sometimes it reads a bit like a therapy session rather than a memoir, but he doesn't hesitate to talk about his mental struggles with being born into a controlling royal family with all its crazy protocols, and his own struggles with losing his mother at such a young age in such a tragic and public way. Personally, I'm only about halfway through at this point. I'm finding a lot to sympathize with, but he's also coming across as a little bit of an elitist, if that's a surprise to you. I have not reached the Meghan portion of the story yet, so I can't comment on that. I picked up Spare because the New York Times profiled the ghostwriter of that memoir, J.R. Moringer, which is a rare thing to do. Ghostwriters are supposed to be hidden, hence the name. Moringer is a Pulitzer-winning journalist and has ghostwritten before. He did Andre Agassi's memoir. He is also the author of his own memoir, The Tender Bar, that came out in 2005 to glowing reviews, was hugely popular, and was made into a popular movie. I loved The Tender Bar and was happy to be reminded of it, and I'm happy to remind you of it today. In a nutshell, Moringer's radio DJ father disappeared from his life while he was still a baby. He never got to meet the guy, and he spent much of his childhood on the radio, tuning the dial, trying to hear his father's voice. Being raised by a single mother, he didn't really have male role models around him until his bartender uncle took him to his work one day, to his bar, and he would hang out there with all the barstool regulars, characters straight from Characterville, who, although each guy was imperfect in his own way, became kind of a collective father figure for Moringer while he was growing up and becoming a young man. Now, the writing is compelling, it's funny, and at times heartbreaking. The bar was located in a commuter town on Long Island that, like many other commuter towns, lost a number of its residents on 9/11, a culminating point in this memoir. Let me read you the last few lines of the blurb. In the grand tradition of landmark memoirs, The Tender Bar is suspenseful, wrenching, and achingly funny. A classic American story of self-invention and escape, of the fierce love between a single mother and an only son. It's also a moving portrait of one boy's struggle to become a man, and an unforgettable depiction of how men remain at heart lost boys, which kind of reminds me of a new memoir that's out, right? This is The Tender Bar by J.R. Moringer. This is Spare by Prince Harry of Sussex. Both available at Mono County Libraries. Come in and grab these or another great memoir to read. In the meantime, stay safe and happy reading.